Today we are going to learn about the glandular epithelium, which is pending. So glandular epithelium is of two types. One is unicellular gland cells and second one is multicellular gland cells. So let us go with the first one, the unicellular gland cells. So unicellular gland cells means they are the isolated gland cells. Isolated means they are separated from each other. Example for unicellular gland cells are goblet cells of intestine. So you can see this one, this is a gland cell. Okay, this one is normal cell. So the gland cells are separated or isolated from the normal cells. Second one is multicellular gland cells. Multicellular gland cells means glands are present in the glands are cluster of cells. That means the glandular cells are present as a group. Cluster means bunch or a group. Okay, what are the examples of multicellular gland cells? Means all the glands except goblet cells. Okay, all the glands except goblet cells. We can take salivary glands, mammary glands, ceruminous glands, etc. So you can see the diagram here. The glandular epithelium, the multicellular gland cells are present in the form of a group cell, right? Like this, they are present in cluster and they release the secretions like this. Okay. Now let us go for the next one. Multicellular gland cells are two types. One is exocrine gland and one is endocrine gland. If you see the exocrine glands are glands with ducts. Okay, glands with duct. Duct means tube. Okay, glands with ducts are called as exocrine gland cells. So example, if you see salivary gland cells, mammary gland cells, and ceruminous glands, liver, all these are exocrine glands. What are endocrine glands? Endocrine glands are ductless glands. That means they do not have any tubular structure. And these endocrine glands release hormones directly into the blood. So they are releasing their secretions directly into the blood circulation. So we are calling them as endocrine gland cells. Now let us see type of exocrine glands. Exocrine glands are three types: holocrine gland cells, apocrine gland cells, merocrine gland cells. Okay, so holocrine means, holo means complete. So complete cell undergoes disintegration to release secretion. So if the glandular cells are present like this, okay, the complete cell is undergoing disintegration to release their secretion. So entire cell is undergoing disintegration. That means it is destroyed and releasing secretion. Example, sebaceous gland. Apocrine gland cell. Apocrine gland cell means only the apical part, that means tip of the gland is cut off. Pinched off means cut off. Example, mammary glands. Merocrine gland cells means there is no loss of cell. Without loss of cell, they are releasing their secretion. Example is pancreas. Okay. Example is pancreas. Right. So we have kept pending that one. Next we are going for the connective tissues. Connective tissue it is most abundant and widely distributed tissue. Okay. Connective tissue is most abundant and widely distributed tissue. So the connective tissue connects the other tissues. What is the origin of connective tissue? Means origin is mesodermal. Okay, connective tissues are derived from the mesoderm. So the connective tissue is formed by cells and extracellular matrix. Okay, it is formed by cells and extracellular matrix. What is meant by extracellular matrix? Extracellular matrix consists of protein fibers and also ground substance. Okay, protein fibers and ground substance. If you see the ground substance contains water, proteins and polysaccharides. Okay, water, proteins and polysaccharides. Ground substance is the medium through which the metabolic waste are exchanged between the cells and their blood supply. Okay, ground substance is the medium through which metabolic wastes are exchanged between the cells and their blood supply. Right. Then if you see, all the connective tissues have fibers except blood. Okay, all the connective tissues are having fibers, but blood is without any fibers. In the blood the fibers are absent. Then if we go for the connective tissue is of three types. One is loose connective tissue, second one is dense connective tissue, third one is special connective tissue. Then if we see the loose connective tissue is of two types, areolar connective tissue and adipose connective tissue. Dense connective tissue, we take regular connective tissue and irregular connective tissue. Then if we take the special connective tissue, in special connective tissue there is blood, bone and cartilage. Now the connective tissue contains some cells. What are the connective cells present in the connective tissue? There are different types of cells like fibroblast cells. Fibroblast cells secrete fibers. What are the fibers secreted by fibroblast cells? Means collagen fibers, elastic fibers and reticular fibers. Next one is mast cells. Mast cells secrete histamine, bradykinin, serotonin and heparin. Histamine is a vasodilator. Vasodilator means what? You see here, this one is a normal blood vessel, this one. When histamine and bradykinin are released, it is undergoing enlargement. Okay, blood vessel is enlarging. That is called as vasodilation. Vaso means blood. We give the name for vaso means blood vessel. So blood vessel is undergoing enlargement is called as dilation. Right? Next one is serotonin. Serotonin is vasoconstrictor. See, it is constricting the blood vessel. And heparin. Heparin is anticoagulant. Anticoagulant means it prevents the coagulation. Coagulation means blood clotting. Okay, heparin is anticoagulant. It prevents the blood clotting. So next one is plasma cells. Plasma cells are derived from B cells and T cells. Next one is macrophages. Macrophages are phagocytic in function. Phago means eating. Cytic means cells. So phagocytic means the macrophages are eating the other cells. Other cells means what? Dead cells or microorganisms or harmful cells. They eat the other cells. Adipocytes, storage of fat. Okay. Leukocyte. Leukocytes migrate from blood vessels and enter into the tissues by a method called as diapedesis. Okay. Leukocytes means nothing but white blood corpuscles only. Especially the monocytes are having the capability to walk along the wall of the blood vessel and they come outside the blood vessel and enter into the tissues. Okay, enter into the tissues. So let us go for the next one, loose connective tissues. So in loose connective tissue, cells and fibers are loosely arranged. In loose connective tissue, cells and fibers are loosely arranged. And it is of two types. It is of two types. What are the two types of loose connective tissue? First one is areolar connective tissue. Areolar connective tissue is a widely distributed connective tissue. Okay. And it contains all the cells and fibers of connective tissue. That means just now we discussed about the cells and fibers. All the cells and fibers that are present in the connective tissue are present in areolar connective tissue. Okay. What is the function of areolar connective tissue? It forms supportive framework of epithelium. And it is found or it is present beneath the epithelia of many visceral organs. Okay, it is found beneath the epithelia of many visceral organs. Then it acts as a packing material between the organs. So if you take the box, okay, in between the glasses are present like this. So glasses are packed. In between the glasses you can see some fibers from papers or some grass they will put. That means it is acting as a packing material. So the grass or papers present in between the glass is called as packing material. Like that, in between the organs, the areolar connective tissue is acting as the packing materials. So it combines with the underlying tissue and forms subcutaneous layer. Okay, it is combining with the underlying tissue means what? It is forming subcutaneous layer means beneath the skin. It is forming a subcutaneous layer. That means it is connecting with the underlying tissue and forming the subcutaneous layer. So next one is adipose tissue. So adipose tissue means what? Excess of nutrients are transported to liver. Okay, the excess of nutrients are converted into fat in the liver, and fats are stored in the adipose tissue. Okay, So where this adipose tissue is present, you can see that. Example, it contributes for the thermal insulation of the body. Okay, it forms blubber in marine animals like whales and sea cow. Blubber means what? Blubber means a thick layer of fat present beneath the skin, which prevents the loss of heat from the body. And it acts as a shock absorber beneath the palm and sole. That means beneath your foot and beneath your palm. That tissue is called as adipose tissue, which is acting as a shock absorber. Okay, we'll continue. Connective tissue. Okay, dense connective tissue means you know that in dense connective tissue, the cells and fibers are densely packed. Okay, the cells and fibers are densely packed. Dense connective tissue is of two types. One is dense regular connective tissue and dense irregular connective tissue. So one is dense regular connective tissue and second one is dense irregular connective tissue. What is dense regular connective tissue? In dense regular connective tissue, collagen fibers are arranged as parallel bundles among the rows of fibroblast cells. Okay, collagen fibers are arranged as parallel bundles. So these are the red color one I am marking is the fibroblast cells. Okay, these are the fibroblast cells. Okay, so in between the fibroblast cells, I am marking with yellow color now. These are the collagen fibers. Okay, blue color is better. It can be visible. Yeah, these are the collagen fibers. So collagen fibers are present as parallel bundles between the fibroblast cells. So examples of dense regular connective tissue is tendon and ligament. Okay, tendon connects muscle to bone and ligament connects bone to bone. Okay, tendon connects muscle to bone and ligament is connecting bone to bone. Next one, irregular connective tissue. In irregular connective tissue, collagen fibers are oriented in different directions. See, you can see here the different directions that are present. Collagen fibers are present in between in different directions. They are not present in a particular direction, right? They are scattered throughout the tissue. So collagen fibers are oriented in different direction. Example, dermis of skin, okay, pericardium, perichondrium, periosteum, and joint capsule. All these are comes as dense irregular connective tissue. Right. So you have to remember the examples, very important. Now let us go for the next one, cartilage. So cartilage is also called as gristle. Another name for cartilage is gristle. That means the matrix of cartilage is called as gristle. And how is the cartilage? Cartilage is solid but semi-rigid and flexible connective tissue. Semi-rigid means it is strong but it is flexible. Okay, for example, you take your external earlobe. External earlobe is semi-rigid. Okay, it is flexible. It can compress. You can fold the external earlobe also. Okay, so the intercellular matrix of cartilage is solid, flexible, and resist compression. Okay, you can compress the cartilage. That means pressing your external earlobe is called as compression. So it can resist the compression. And the cells of cartilage are called as chondrocytes. So if the cartilage is present like this, in between there is a lacunae, empty spaces are present. In the empty spaces, the chondrocytes are present. Okay, so this is the matrix of cartilage. Okay, this is the matrix of cartilage, and in between the matrix of cartilage, there is chondrocytes. Chondrocytes are present in the lacunae. Right, salts present in the cartilage are called as chondrin, and fibers present in the cartilage are called as collagen and elastic fibers. And cartilage is avascular. Avascular means what? Cartilage is not supplied with any blood. Okay, and this cartilage is surrounded by perichondrium. So this one is cartilage, means the red color one is called as perichondrium. So through the perichondrium it gets the nourishment. Then types of cartilage we take, there are three types of cartilage basically. One is hyaline cartilage, second one is elastic cartilage, third one is fibrous cartilage. Hyaline cartilage is bluish, white and translucent. Translucent means it is transparent. And what are the fibers present in the hyaline cartilage? Means collagen fibers. Then example for hyaline cartilage means, you can see tip of the nose, larynx, cartilaginous rings in trachea, ventral side of ribs and tip of epiphysis. And also embryos of vertebrae are made up of with hyaline cartilage. Elastic cartilage. Elastic cartilage is made up of with elastin fibers. Example for elastic cartilage is external earlobe, eustachian tubes and epiglottis. Third one, fibrous cartilage. Fibrous cartilage is the strongest of all the cartilages. Okay. Then fibrous cartilage is present in between intervertebral discs. That means in between the two vertebrae, the cartilage is present like this. Okay. In between the two vertebrae, the cartilage is present like this. They are called as intervertebral discs. And pubic symphysis of pelvic girdle. So pelvic girdle will be like this. In between the two bones of pelvic girdle, it is a pubic symphysis we call. So pubic symphysis of pelvic girdle is also made up of with fibrous cartilage. So next one is bone. Study of bones is called as osteology. Okay. And bones have hard, non-flexible. Pliable means non-pliable means non-flexible matrix. Okay, the ground substance, that means the substance present inside the bone. Okay, the substance present inside the bone is rich in calcium salts and collagen fibers. And bones support and protect the soft tissues. Bones are supporting and protecting the soft tissues present in our body. And the cells of the bones are called as osteoblast cells. Okay, cells of the bones are called as osteoblast cells. Then let us go for the types of bones. Types of bones we take: membranous bone or investing bone or dermal bones. Membranous bone or investing bone or dermal bones formed during embryonic development. Example for membranous bone are most bones of cranium. Next one is cartilaginous bone. Cartilaginous bone is short bones and long bones. Okay, cartilage is converted into bone. They are called as cartilaginous bone. And all short bones and long bones of limbs and also vertebrae. Sesamoid bone. Sesamoid bone develop within tendons. Example for sesamoid bones are patella and pisiform. Pisiform is present in the carpals. So based on the size and shape, the bones are classified into different types. Like long bones are example of humerus. Humerus is present in the upper arm, femur, thigh bone, tibia, fibula present down below the thigh bone. Short bones, carpals present in the wrist and tarsals present in the ankle. Flat bones, bones of cranium. Cranium means skull bones there. Irregular bones means bones of vertebral means bones of backbone. Right. Then let us go for the muscular tissue. So if you see the muscle is formed by parallelly arranged muscle fibers. Muscle fibers are also called as muscle cells or myocytes or sarcocytes. So another name for the muscle fibers is muscle cells or sarcocyte or myocyte. Then what is the anatomic unit of muscle? Means muscle fiber. Functional unit of muscle is sarcomere. So you have learned this one in the muscle, locomotion and movement, all these things. Okay, muscular system is involved in all the types of movements, contraction and relaxation, movement of body parts to adjust in the changing environment also. So muscular system is involved in all the types of movements, contractions and relaxations in the body, movement of body parts to adjust in the changing environmental condition. Now basically the muscular system consists of three types of muscles. Let us see. First one is skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle fiber is long and cylindrical and it is striated. Striated means you can see here the stripes are present. Okay. And it is voluntary. Voluntary means these muscles are under the control of the person because you can lift your hand. It is a skeletal muscle. Okay. And these skeletal muscles or striated muscles are attached to the skeletal system of the man. Right. Smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are also called as visceral muscles. It occurs in the visceral organs. So these are the smooth muscle fibers. The smooth muscles are non-striated. That means there are no stripes on the smooth muscles. This is the nucleus. Okay. And these are involuntary muscles. Involuntary means we can say that they are not under our control. Because the visceral organs like stomach, intestine, genital, what we can say, testes, urinary bladder, okay, intestines, liver, pancreas, all this comes under visceral organs. So the visceral organs are not under our control. They are acting according to their will, and it is controlled or regulated by nervous system only. They are not at all controlled by according to our will. Examples: involuntary muscles are under the control of autonomous nervous system. ANS means autonomous nervous system. Example: blood vessels, uterus, stomach, intestine, and urinary bladder. Cardiac muscle. So cardiac muscle is present in the myocardium of the heart. Okay, and these are short and cylindrical muscles and branched. So you can see that these are branched. Branches are there. Okay, they are having striations. Stripes are present. Okay, so intercalated discs are present. See, these are the intercalated discs. What is the function of intercalated discs? Intercalated discs help in rapid transmission of depolarization. Rapid transmission of depolarization means rapid transmission of nerve impulse. Rapid transmission of nerve impulse. Next one is neural tissue. So neural tissue exerts greatest control over responsiveness of the body. Okay, neural cells and muscle cells are electrically excitable. That means they are excitable cells. Neural tissue is made up of with neurons and neuroglia cells. Neurons conduct the impulses. Neurons are conducting the impulses. And what are neuroglia cells means? Neuroglia cells are supporting cells and they do not conduct any impulse. More than 50% of nervous tissue is made up of with neuroglia. Then we see the structure of neuron. Neuron is structural and functional unit of nervous system. A neuron consists of three parts: cell body, dendrite, and axon. So you can see in the diagram the cell body, axon, dendrites, and axon terminals also. Cell body. Cell body is having different names like cyton, perikaryon, and soma. What does the cell body contain? Cell body consists of nucleus. This is the nucleus. And this is the cytoplasm. And inside the cytoplasm, we are having some Nissil granules and also mitochondria. That's all. Right? Dendrites. So these are the dendrites. You can see I am marking with red color. So dendrites, small hair-like structures, arises from the cell body. And these are efferent process. Carry impulses towards the cell body. So they are carrying impulses toward the cell body. Axon. Axon is efferent process. And it is long and cylindrical process. You can see that. This is the long and cylindrical process. And axon ends as axon terminals. These are the axon terminals. This axon terminals contains a knob-like structures called as synaptic knob. Inside the synaptic knob, there are some vesicles called as synaptic vesicles. What does the synaptic vesicle contain? Synaptic vesicles contains neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are nothing but chemicals. Now let us see the types of neurons. Multipolar neuron. You can see the diagram, you can easily understand. So this one is the multipolar neuron. How many dendrites are present in multipolar neuron means 2 or more. And how many axon is present means only 1. Where these multipolar neurons are present means cerebral cortex. You studied the nervous system now. In that cerebrum, upper part of the cerebral hemispheres is called as cerebral cortex. Okay. Bipolar neuron. In bipolar neuron, there is one dendrite and one axon. Where they are present? They are present in the retina of eye, internal ear, and olfactory epithelium. Unipolar neuron, there is no dendrite. There is but only one axon is present. So you can see here, dendrite is absent, one axon is present. So when they are present means they are present in the embryonic stages. Again, types of neurons also. Sensory or efferent neuron. Sensory or efferent neuron carry impulses from receptors to central nervous system. Receptor, imagine this one as a skin. Okay. This one as a skin. Skin to central nervous system means it might be brain or spinal cord. So skin to brain or spinal cord is called as central nervous system. Motor or efferent neuron. Motor efferent neuron means central nervous system means from brain. The impulses are carried to effectors like muscles, glands, etc. Then third one is interneuron. Interneurons are connecting sensory and motor neurons in the central nervous system. Again, there are two types of neurons are there. Myelinated neuron and non-myelinated neuron. Axon is surrounded by myelin sheath. So this is the neuron. This is the axon. The axon is surrounded by myelin sheath like this. We call that one as myelinated neuron. Example of myelinated neurons means cranial nerves and spinal nerves. If myelin sheath is present, then it is called as white part. So in the nervous system, I told you that. Non-myelinated neuron means the neuron will be simple. There is no myelin sheath is absent. Myelin sheath is absent around the axon. So it is called as non-myelinated neuron. Example, somatic nervous system and autonomous nervous system. Right. So this completes about the connective tissues also. Next, there is only one type study, but there is only one thing I have to teach, that is the cockroach. In next video, I will go for the cockroach also. So I will complete this one, right? Thank you, ma. Have a nice day.